All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Eric Greenstein, and we have, and also I'm here with Bobby Sharma. We have our open exclusives. That's right, that's right. And we are really proud and honored to have Sanjay on the open exclusive today. Bobby, you want to introduce?
Hey, thank you, Eric. Thanks, everybody. Yes, I do want to introduce a really good friend of mine. And, Sanjay and we've known each other for 2.5 years. And he's built some amazing technology, amazing solutions for real estate investors, for fund managers, people like me that, 5 years ago, if somebody had told me that I would be a fund manager, I would have been like, what are you smoking? But, he created um, some new ideas, some new technology, some new processes to make it really simple and easy for folks like myself that have a community to kind of to build it on their platform. So with that, Sanjay, I'm gonna let you kind of talk a little bit about Avestor, and then we'll ask questions in the middle every now and then. But thank you for making the time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me on. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Bobby. Excited to be here. So let me tell you just kind of a little bit about myself. I've, lived and breathed the tech markets forever. I've been working in tech for over 25 years plus. And so, love it. But more than tech on the side, I've also always love being an investor. And so what we are doing here with Avestor is, in my mind, game changing. We are trying to simplify and make it easier for investors to invest in the private markets. As you know, the public markets are big, but the private markets have become multi-trillion-dollar as well. But historically, it had always been limited to, the wealthy. It's tough to get in. If you look at the public markets, you go and you open an account with Charles Schwab or E-Trade or somebody. And once you do it, you can pick your stock, you can buy it on the market, and boom, you're done. And you can build ETFs, et cetera. It's super, super easy. But then if you want to diversify out of the public markets and you want to go invest in the private markets and you want to, invest in real estate or other kind of alternatives, it starts to get really hard, right? If you want to do self-storage, if you want to do multifamily, if you want to do debt, a variety of different things, it is just very difficult to do it. And so that was kind of the concept from which we came and started Avestor, which was, how do we simplify and make it easier for investors to build a portfolio in the private markets, right? And so, diversify and not just diversify in public, but split your money and have some of it in the private markets. And so that was the general concept. So we started with that model in mind about 5 years ago. And we started, saying, what's wrong with the private markets? Why is it so hard? And it turns out the problem is on both fronts. The private markets obviously consist of a set of folks that want to raise capital for projects, whether, let's say, it's a new construction of a, multifamily apartment complex, or you've got the people that are the investors that are looking for good investment opportunities and good income, good capital gains, and return. For the folks that are trying to raise the capital raisers, it's just complex and difficult. The regulatory environment, the legal documents, accreditation requirements, SEC guidelines, state by state rules, it just is super, super complicated. When you look at the investor side, how do you even find somebody to invest with, right? How do you find good investment opportunities? There's just no one place you can log in and say, oh, here's all of my opportunities, let me look at them. So, it requires connections, it requires network, you have to go find everybody. So it's just a very difficult place to be for both sides of the party. So as we started building Avestor, we said, how do we simplify this? First, we started focusing on how do we simplify it for investors, but we quickly realized we have to simplify both sides to truly make it work. And so we came up with a product called a customizable fund. And I'll get into it in a little bit more, But basically, the goal of our customizable funds is and our platform is to simplify life for a capital raiser to basically go raise capital from investors. And our goal for investors is to build a marketplace of lots and lots of sponsors who are trying to raise capital and give them opportunities that they can go and investigate, they can research, they can do due diligence, and then they can select the ones that meet their needs. So that's really what we're doing, is we're really trying to go tackle and create a much more simpler way for people to invest in the private markets and make private market overall easier.
Excellent, excellent. And I can attest to that, because in the 2.5 years that I've been working with Avestor and Sanjay, I've seen how more and more what used to be exclusive or elusive deals are now available to a lot of investors that couldn't participate before. So with a lot of due diligence and a lot of basically Avestor's made it a lot easier for a lot of people, a lot more people, to access the deals that were earlier available only to the super wealthy or the ultra wealthy. But anyway, Sanjay, what are you seeing from other fund managers, from your feedback from your investors and your fund managers or the LPs in their deals? Like, where do you see this going? How can it go beyond real estate? Can it go beyond just the usual multifamily deals that we see on most of the social media? Like, where can this go? How far can this go?
Yeah, I think it opens the door to a lot of different things. I'll give you a few examples. And as I said, what we're doing is we're building a product called customizable funds for capital raisers. And what it does is it really simplifies capital raising for folks, where you create, in the traditional sense of the word, everybody knows what a fund is. These pooled funds have been around for 50 years. They haven't changed. They're kind of work the same way. And basically, these funds are, some managers are going to go try to raise a bunch of money. Investors don't really know what they're investing in, other than, oh, I got to put my money into this thing, and they're going to go invest it in some kind of properties, and hopefully I get some kind of return. So what we've done is opened up the door and created a product called a customizable fund, where managers still get the benefits of the fund infrastructure, the savings, the operational benefits of funds, but investors get to pick and choose which deals they're participating in. And so we started with the real estate vertical, and have been launching quite a few funds in the real estate vertical. But now what we're seeing is a lot of interest outside of the real estate vertical. We just launched our first startup fund, and we've got a couple more in the pipeline after that, where startup funds have worked the same way. You don't get to pick and choose which deals you're participating in. Now, with our funds, the investors can say, I want to put X amount of money in this deal, I'll skip this deal, I'm going to go into this deal inside of the fund. And so every investor is picking and choosing the investment opportunities they want to be in. They get to see the results and returns associated with those investment opportunities as well. So a significant amount of improvement in transparency, and really being able to kind of take the layer out of fund, take the hidden layer out of funds and remove the curtain and allow investors to really come in and know what's happening inside these funds. So we do see them going much broader than the real estate market, as you were asking, Bobby.
Eric, anything from the audience or from you?
Yeah, I actually have a question, right? So let's just say someone who's not really integrated into the investment world, has a couple of multifamilies or maybe just single families, and want to get in and have about 50 grand that they want to invest, right? So how would I do that? How would I invest that in an investor?
Yeah, so what you can do is, as an investor, you could start at the most simplest level, right? What we do is we provide connections to managers and funds that are on our platform. And really, we focus on on a customizable fund because we believe it gives investors the most choice. So you can go to our website, you can go to our marketplace, and you'll see a whole host of different funds, and you can sort through those funds and pick the categories or asset classes you're interested in. We'll show you some of the funds that are investing in those asset classes, and then you can connect with those managers and see and more or less interview them and see, do they meet your needs? Do you like them? Do you click with them? Is that someone you'd want to build a relationship with? And then the best advantages is once you build that relationship, you don't immediately have to invest. You can, see which opportunities that the manager is bringing on the table. And then at the time you feel like, okay, this is a great opportunity, I want to go invest. And most of the managers are, starting as low as 25,000. Some of them are as low as 10,000. So even if you had, 50,000 to invest, you could get into a few different deals, these private market deals at, at a lower cost and a lower threshold. And you start building diversity and, creating a broader portfolio.
And that's what I was about to say, because I just think it's so cool that I could, have different asset classes, and actually kind of work my money like that. I think it's really, really, really cool what you're doing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're excited. I mean, I think we're getting a lot of different types of funds also coming on that investors would otherwise not get the choice. We've got a fund that's going to be launching pretty soon. That's they're going to be doing some music rights. We've got, judgment liens coming through that are going to be doing. We've got some development projects coming in Central America that are going to be flowing through. We've got a new fund that just launched this week that is doing RV parks, but they're not doing traditional RV parks. They're converting RV parks into membership parks and selling and fractionalizing and selling out, memberships, equity investment in their fund. It gives you, membership, stakes in membership parks. So a lot of different types of investments coming through, a lot of variety that gives investors the ability to say, okay, this is what clicks with me. This is what meets my needs. I want to go invest here. So our goal is to continue to expand the platform. We want to be the, largest, provider out there for the private markets in terms of different types of funds and investment opportunities for investors, and really grow that over time, so that, we can become a single stop. We're in, making it as easy as it is to invest in the public markets.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Anyone else? Tim, what's up, Tim? How you doing, man? You got any questions?
Yes, I do have questions.
Hey, Tim.
Hey guys, hey Bobby, hey Sanjay, good to connect with you. First thing, congratulations on Avestor. It's funny, I'm in the South Florida area, and I think I've heard Avestor come up from about 5 different people.
That's great.
The other big name out there is, something like Syndication Pro, but I think I've heard Avestor more than them. So I think that's quite a feat. So congratulations on that. I do have a couple questions. The first one, and I don't know the answer to it, but I've heard that RIAs, and give you a little backstory, I'm in apartment syndication. And I'm looking to kind of coordinate with some RIAs where if they like the investment, I've heard that Avestor has some sort of ability to make it a little bit easier and or more compliant for RIAs to be involved with the actual investment. Is there anything you might be able to share?
Yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 of our funds are actually, they're also RIAs as well in parallel. So the fund managers also have an RIA side of the business as well. So they're doing that. From an investment standpoint, an RIA can invest on behalf of their clients. We can work with them on that. I'll be honest, we haven't gotten to that point yet where we're really going after RIAs. Our initial goal was really to grow the number of investment opportunities, because when an RIA comes in, we want to ensure that there's a lot of different options they can select from. And so,
And I was thinking it might have something to do with, the customizable fund, in a sense where the IRA, they create a customizable fund and they
yeah, they
have
could.
their clients' funds in that fund, and then they kind of pick and choose within that fund, and then give the opportunity for their clients to push the funds from
Which
the
is what one of our fund managers who are an RIA, that's exactly what they're doing. So
and then
give you an
that gets
example.
that gets around some compliance, or that mitigates some compliance concerns, I think, with that approach.
Well, there's also the other advantage, which is they're actually going back into the public markets, but some of them have minimums. Some of the funds that are they're investing into, even though they're on the public markets, is minimums of $1 million to get in. So what they're doing is they are lowering the bar to about $100,000, pooling the money together from their investors, and then investing the $1 million straight in. So that would be kind of the way it would work. Would be, you create the fund, you determine as the fund manager what are the investment opportunities, and when there's a higher minimum, you can then determine you're gonna invest at the fund level at the higher minimum. Our platform then allows the investors to say, hey, I want to be part of this, and you can at a lower minimum, and then the money gets pulled together. So you get the benefits as an investor from still being able to access through the fund, something that would otherwise not be available to you because the minimum is just too high for you.
Yeah, that's good. And then I think also you guys do a significant amount of back-end support with the investors, right? I think you guys work a little bit on the accounting side, the tax distribution.
So you mean with the managers?
With the managers, and then ultimately delivering them to
the investors.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've built a pretty comprehensive tax and accounting back end for our customizable fund. So it's a full out product, from the legal infrastructure, and how we set it up, from the operating agreement, the PPM, the legal documents for a customizable fund, the technology portal, which supports the operating agreements and how they work, and ensures that everything gets done correctly in terms of allowing investors to pick and choose the investments inside the one they want to participate inside the fund they want to participate in. Then the accounting aspects of it, and also the tax side of it. So one of the biggest advantages is if you're into real estate, you do traditional syndications as an investor, and you're in, let's say, 20 different syndications, you're going to get 20 K1s, and it just gets painful at tax time, and you got to pay somebody if you don't do your own taxes to go, and each K1 costs you money. So it's just hard, right? So what we've done is build with a customizable fund, you're basically replacing syndications. So you can invest in individual deals that you want to participate in. Our tax backend basically consolidates all the data, determines what everybody's pro rata share of profits, losses are for the deals that they're participating in. We calculate all of the K1 data. We then allow our tax partners to log into our backend, pull all the data to then generate the tax return for the fund, and also the final K1s for the investors. So it's a fully integrated experience, and for the investors it's just super simple, because each year they only get one K1 from the fund.
Great, thank you. Another topic that I've been thinking about a lot, and I'm curious how Avestor is involved with it, is this notion of secondary trading or liquidation. And if I'm thinking correctly about the concept of the customizable fund, would there be opportunity for sort of intra trading within the fund? Is there anything you could share a little bit about that concept?
Yeah. We are investigating that, and there's different components to this. From our funds are all fractionalized already, right? So independent of we're already doing all of the fractionalization of the funds. Then you can kind of take it to the next level from a technology standpoint, which says, you know, you want to tokenize the funds and do the tokenization, put them on the blockchain. So what that then allows you to do is kind of take it to the next level, where once you put it on the blockchain, everything is sitting on the blockchain. So that kind of takes care of that side of it. Then you've kind of got the regulatory side of it, because again, remember, this is the private market, so you cannot actively trade it. You know, you have to hold for at least 12 months. So what an investor could do, though, is over time, after they've held for 12 months, if they want to quote, you know, exit a portion of a deal, you know, one of their deals inside the fund, or, you know, move it, you know, or trade it with somebody else, you know, they could do that. So we are investigating a variety of different scenarios around how we can support investors long term to allow them to have more liquidity inside the funds, and potentially even interfund, right? Where, you know, somebody could take a portion of their investment out of one fund and then move it to a different fund if they choose to do that as well. So there's quite a few different scenarios we're looking at. So it's kind of looking at both the end user experience, investor experience of what investors may want to do and how they may want additional liquidity. Because a lot of times, you know,